Okay, we are going to talk about array and object in this video. So let's begin. What is an array? So I have a picture I want to show you. This is an array of students. Okay, so in this array of students, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 student records. So an array is basically a list of data. In this example, the data happens to be students. It can be a list of anything: cars, a list of buildings, a list of numbers, a list of objects, a list of anything. Okay, so how do we define array in JavaScript? As we are learning JavaScript to build our foundation for developing in LWC, right? So head back to our Salesforce site page that we are working. This is from the previous video. I'm going to delete that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 girls and 2 boys. Okay. So I'm going to declare and define the array of students. Okay. I'm going to name it students. Okay, like that. And then I'm going to set a value. Okay, equals like so. So with a square bracket, that's how we are defining an array. So a square bracket, and I'm gonna name Jane, the first girl, Mary, and then Lala, and then 2 boys, Jack and John, for example. Okay. So now we have an array of students. So if we want to take a look, if I do console.log type of students, the data type of this, you will see this is an array. So I'm going to save this first. It's done. I'm going to flip back to here. And if I refresh this object, because an array is an object as well. We will get back to that in this video as well. So an array is an object, is a type of object. Okay, as I'll explain it to you how it's interchangeable and how you can access array with object notation as well. So now how can we access this? So an array has an index, right? If I go back to our picture over here. So remember, an array is a data type of what? Of an object. So an array is an object. Got that? Remember. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 students. This is the first in line, right? Second in line, third in line, fourth in line, and fifth in line. Now, it's an index of this is the first, second, third, fourth, fifth students, right? But an array not just in JavaScript but in all programming languages always starts with a 0 index. So it's always start with a 0. So we don't say first, but we're saying it 0, first, second, third, and fourth. So this would be the 0th record, the 0th index. So to give you as an example, if I console.log students 0, it will print Jane. Okay, the first one is 0. It's always start with a 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is very foundational. An array index always start with a 0. Okay, you have to understand that. So if I do this, this will print Jane. Okay, let's flip back to our code over here and refresh Jane, right? So now you guess, if I want to print Jack, what would be the index? Jack, is it 4? 1, 2, 3, 4, or is it 3? It's 3, because it's always start with a 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if I console.log student index, the third student in line, meaning the third student in line, like not the third student in line, the fourth student in line. A bit confusing, right? So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, but he is the fourth student in line. So we will get Jack. Got that? Jack, because it's always start with a 0 here. 0, 1, 2, 3. One more time. If I want to get Mary, what is this? Is it 2 or 1? It's 1. Because this is 0, this is 1. So 1 will be Mary. I'm saving that and flip there. This is going to be Mary now. Mary. Okay? So that's how you access an index. Okay? So you have to get this foundation. So when you're sorting an array, you're playing with the array data set, you can have a good mindset of how it works. Now, say I'm gonna comment that out. Say I'm gonna say, let's start with let students. Okay, it starts with just Jane. Okay, but now I want to add Mary after Jane. To do that, we can use push. So if I do students.push, Mary, it will add, now it will become Jane and Mary. That's how you push, you add an array. This is add data to the end of the array. We use push. Okay, so now if I go console.log student, first we have Mary. Okay, I'm going to save that because now there is Jane and Mary. So if I flip back here, same thing, Mary. But if we haven't pushed Mary, right, this will, what will happen? Let's see. Boom, undefined. Because there's only the first one, which is Jane, which you can access students 0 index. Okay, if you go like that, I flip back like that, Jane. Okay, so this is still just Jane. Now we are pushing Mary into the array. Now Mary is in the lineup. Okay, if you push another one, we push Lala into the array, right? Now we have Lala, the second one. So 0, 1, 2, right? If I refresh this, did I save it? I did. This would be Lala. Okay, so if I just print students like that, and I'm gonna refresh, whoops, Actually, no brackets there. I'm gonna save that. Now it says Jane, Mary, and Lala. Okay, got it? Now, say I want to, let's stop pushing. Now, let's take out Lala. If you want to take out Lala, I'm going to say students.pop Lala. So what does pop means? Pop, remove data from the end of the array. Okay. So if let's just see it. So if I pop Lala now, Lala is not going to be there. See? Lala is popped now. Lala is gone. You can also, if I take this out, we're not going to pop Lala anymore. But now we can also shift. So shift means remove the first one. So if I go students.shift, even just students.shift, I don't even have to define who. It's just gonna remove from the beginning. So this is going to remove Jane. Okay, so Jane is not gonna be there. Boom, just Mary and Lala, because we just shifted it. We removed the first one. Okay, so if I cancel this, I delete that. Oops. Now we still have 3 again. Now if I do unshift means add to the beginning. So when you want to add something, you have to define who do we want to add, right? If I say students dot unshift who is the new person? New guy, for example. So new guy will be now in the first, not Jane, but new guy. That is unshift function. So if I refresh this, there, new guy in the first, right? New guy, Jane, Mary, then Lala. Okay. Now, to recap, an array is what? A list of data. So this is how you define it, okay? And then you can push. You can push again. You can unshift, which is add to the beginning. Add data to the beginning of the array. So you can push, you can pop. Pop is removing from the end. You can shift and you can unshift, and there is more functions you can do with an array. All right. So let's make sure you understand that and play around with array. Okay. Now next we are going to talk about object. Okay. Object. I'm going to clear this out. So how do you define an object? So let's say pet is an object. Okay, pet. So to define an object, you use the curly brackets like that. Okay, and then you define the key and the value, okay, of the object. For example, I want to say type of my pet, it's a dog. Okay, and then so this is the key and the value, or the properties, or the property of the object and the value of it. Okay, and then the breed, what breed? It's a golden retriever. Okay, and what else do you want to say there? What's the color of the dog? It's brown. And then who's the owner of the dog? It's Jimmy. And when is it born? Date of birth. It's May 1st, 2015. So that's how we define an object. So how can you access the object? So if I want to know what's the name, let's put even the name of the dog, right? The type of the dog, and then the name is Pico the dog. So if I console.log pet dot to access the property, for example, name, it will print out Pico, the value of it. Property is name. What's the value of it? It's Pico. When I save that and refresh this guy, Pico, right? So what would happen if I say console.log pet breed? You would know, right? What would it say? Golden Retriever, right? So if I refresh that, Pico, the Golden Retriever. So this is how you access the value of the object when you define the property on here. This is accessing the value of it, like this part, right? Now if I want to say date of birth, it's going to be like what? Console.log pet date of birth. Now that's going to look weird, right? What will happen there? Let's try it. If I save, whoops, error, uncaught syntax error. So you can't do it like so because it has spaces in it. So you would access it like an array. That's why an array is also what? An object. So you can use the quotation there. That's like an array, right? Console.log pet date of birth. Okay, and I'm going to save that and refresh this guy. Boom. Now it can access it. So you can access an object with an array annotation like so. Same thing if I do console.log. It doesn't have to be when it has a space in between the property name, like date of birth, like that. Like if I say pet owner, right? Well, you guessed it. Who owns Pico the dog? This is how I access it, like an array, like you're accessing an array, right? If I save, this would print Jimmy because the owner, the value of it is Jimmy. So that's how you access it. So that's how you access and define objects and array. Okay? So you can define any object. Like for example, one more example. So let's say name the object. What is the object? What is the object of your affection, so to speak? What is the object? A car, maybe, right? A car. What is the brand? Tesla. What is the model? Model S Plaid. What is the year? The year is 2021. Who is the owner? Elon Musk. Okay, let's save that. Now, how do I access the model? Console.log car.model. Okay, like so. So if I refresh that, boom, model as flat. So how do you add more properties to an object? So for example, you want to add, right, car, you just add it, dot what, make your own property. Color, right? We haven't defined the color, so you can add new properties by doing that. Car dot any new property you want to set, black. Okay, and what else? Car dot FSD, full self-driving, right? True. Okay, now you can console.log car. Let's see what happens here. Boom. See, color black, you have all the new ones. You have color black and then FSD, full self-driving, true. So now, how do you remove a property? I don't like having it an owner because it's a new car, right? Let's take out the owner. So you just say delete car owner. We don't want that property no more. And I don't also want car, I don't know, what, FSD. Okay, so we're adding it here, but then we're deleting it here. Okay, so now if I print console.log car, it will not have this FSD and owner. There is no property for FSD and owner. Now we have FSD, right, and owner, but after we delete that and we refresh, there is no FSD or owner. Or this one. So just brand, color, model year. That's how you can add a property to an existing object and remove a property out of an existing object. Okay, let's stop here before it gets too long. Now, you have to replay this video if you haven't been coding along together with me. Your task is now to type whatever I just typed while you're watching this video. Do the array ones for students and do the object ones as well. You have to get the hang of it. You have to really get the hang of this foundation and have that mindset in your brain so that when you're developing LWC using JavaScript, you know how to work the data, right? That's how you play with the data, which is the fun part. Okay, so repeat this video several times until you really get arrays and objects. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bada bing, bada boom. Hit that subscribe button and explore new Trailhead grounds and learn to implement the most useful and popular apps on the Salesforce App Exchange. And do yourself a favor, like this video, and you'll be surprised on how much more you understand when watching this same video after liking it. Don't take my word. Watch this one more time after you like the video and see it for yourself. Bada bing, bada boom.